So your work really is a step 3 part of this 3-step process. Now step 4 process, but the step 3 process we talked about for so many years. Ask, source answers, and then you must find a way to become a vibrational match to what you're asking for. In other words, you can't want something and doubt it and get it. You can't want something and be mad that you don't have it and get it. You can't want something and be impatient about it. The flight attendant said, "Thank you for your patience." And Esther said, "You're confused about who." You must be talking about the previous flight, because no patience happening here. You can tell by the way you feel whether you are in alignment or whether you are not. So we are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. We're going to help you to find some ways, if you want them, to line up easily with who you are and what you want. In some ways, some of the things that we will suggest today, you will stubbornly protest against a little bit, because it's just going to seem too simple. And some of the things that we're going to say to you and promises that we're going to make to you, you may even doubt a little bit, because they're just words that sort of kind of make sense, and maybe you feel resonance with them, but you haven't had the manifestational evidence in your life yet about it. But we know that with just a little bit of listening and a little bit of resonating and a little bit of awareness and then a little bit of focusing, that you will find manifestational evidence about everything that we talk about here today. You're going to know precisely how your thoughts become the reality that you are living, so that not only you are aware of it, but others who are observing you as well. So as we've been talking to you about launching these rockets of desires, we also wrote a book about where they go. We called it The Vortex. It's this vibrational reality. It's this vibrational reality that you cannot yet see or hear or smell or taste or touch. You can feel it emotionally. Well, that's just annoying to people. We spent a lot of time trying to talk you into getting into the vortex where everything you want is. And you were very nice to us. No one ever got up and left the room. Well, just that one guy. But you were interested about the vortex, but you began saying things like, "Okay, so my fortune's in the vortex, Abraham. I want it to come out of the vortex and into my bank. Because it's nice knowing that I've created realities that I can't see yet, or that others can't see, but really, how long can this go on? How long do you think you can keep me hopeful about things that aren't tangible?" And we say, it was never your intention to come and live without the tangibility. You are in a time-space reality where you can measure your existence through your manifestations. We just want you to understand that if you've got a vibration going on that is keeping you from being a vibrational match to what you want, the manifestation that you want cannot come. And you wouldn't want it to. You wouldn't want it to. So then we began talking to you about, so here's all of this vibrational reality, and you're going, yeah, we accept it, get on with it. How do I get it into my reality where I can see it, where others can see it? And so we began talking about your point of attraction. For a while we called it a grid. It's your point of attraction. It's like the framework of who you are, looking for different ways to help you feel the reality of your point of attraction. Your point of attraction, where you stand. And mostly it's about how you feel right now. How do you feel right now? What's your mood? What is the mood that is swirling around you? Because your mood is the best indicator that you have to let you know what the vibrational atmosphere is that you've got going on. And your vibrational atmosphere matters because it is your point of attraction. How you feel, your mood, the thoughts you're thinking, the beliefs you hold, what's going on, the conversations you have, how you move in the world, how you feel in the world, what you're doing now. Right now, you have a relationship with your vortex. Right now, you have a relationship with your vibrational reality. And the question that we want you to ask yourself is the relationship that you have with something that's in your vibrational reality, in your vortex, is the relationship you have one of holding it away? And you can tell by the way you feel whether you are holding it away or whether you are allowing it in. You can also tell by whether it's coming in or not. We're not asking you to just hold yourself in this emotional state of being and just take our word for it. What we're saying to you is take our word for it, hold yourself in the emotional state of being, and watch the evidence move from your vibrational reality into your reality until before long you will have such confidence in your ability to manifest anything that you desire, because you will have discovered what kinds of things you've been doing that have been preventing the things that you want from coming easily. And we can tell you in a very succinct nutshell kind of a sentence what it mostly is. Your observation of the conditions that exist now are the reason that you keep repeating a pattern that holds away the things you want. It really is that simple. You got to change the way you look at things. You got to reorient yourself. You've got to become more vibrational interfacing. You have to trust the way you feel. You have to accept that you have guidance. You have to accept that your guidance is always leading you toward what you want. And you have to be aware of when you're moving toward what you want and when you're not moving toward what you want. And you have to accept that the emotions that you hold are the indicator of whether you're moving closer or further. You can just tell. You'll get so good at this that you'll be in the middle of a conversation and you'll stop talking right in the middle of it, because you'll realize that you're moving away from what you want rather than toward what you want. So often, in your quest to make someone else understand what you mean, who's in a different vibrational frequency and is not hearing what you mean, in your attempt to get them to hear what you mean, you are responding to the condition of them not hearing. So you are basing what you are saying based upon what they are not hearing, and then you join them in their frequency rather than maintaining yours, and then instead of them hearing what you mean, you hear what they mean, and nothing changes. Oh, you got that, didn't you? So let's just start talking about some stuff that's important to you, and let's make everything that we said just now more tangible for you. We want you to feel your thoughts becoming manifested. We want you to feel the movement of the vibration into awareness, into emotion, and then into see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, tangible, manifested stuff, just like you intended. You're not here just to accumulate stuff, but you are here as a masterful creator. You're here to mold the energy. And how your life is playing out is evidence of how you're doing. What do you want to talk about? There's a lot of trouble in this room. A lot of trouble. You're going to have a wonderful day. Just relax and trust that it will unfold perfectly. I'm going to give you a little demonstration of how creation happens. And we're going to tell it to you in a sequence of conversation that will open within you an awareness that will make what we're going to say next and all the rest of this morning together, it will make it make sense to you in a way that perhaps it never has before. You understand the concept of momentum. We like the analogy of the car at the top of the hill. Take the brake off, take it out of gear, and you decide you'll just nudge it to see what momentum's really like. So you nudge your car and it begins to move over the crest of the hill, and then you realize you don't need this demonstration. You know from life experience what momentum in this case will be. And so you come to your senses right away because you like your car, and you step out in front of it and you let it bump up against you, and the momentum stops because you caught it early. You wouldn't want to be at the bottom of that hill attempting to stop that momentum. So when we notice, or you notice, that you've got a belief going that doesn't serve you, and we say to you, it's simply a momentum of thought that isn't serving you, part of you wants to argue about it because you believe it because it has been happening. It's a reality that you've observed, and so therefore it seems like it should be believable. But we want you to understand that even if you decide that it is a belief that you don't want to keep active, you can't just stop believing that all of a sudden, because there's too much momentum about thoughts. Life is still delivering to you remnants and pieces of it to sort of, not with the purpose of keeping it alive, it's just the consequence. In the same way that there's no evil force trying to drag your car down the hill into a big crash at the end. It's just a natural consequence of momentum. So when you realize, or this is what we want you to realize, is that There is a point, an earlier point, where the momentum is easier to stop or easier to slow. There is a point in every conversation on every subject where it's easy for you to begin the momentum in the direction of what you want. And that's that emotional place. That's that emotional center. That's that unconditional place. Hear these words and try to feel the resonance with them just a little bit. So, all right, you got that, didn't you? Everything about that makes perfect sense. There's nothing within you that argues with any of that. It makes perfect sense. So now let's introduce law of attraction to the equation, because law of attraction, which says that which is likened to itself is drawn, is of course the reason for momentum. Because when you think a thought for as little as 17 seconds, law of attraction delivers another thought to you that is like it, and now there is more momentum with the joining of the two thoughts. And in another 17 seconds, more momentum, and another more momentum. Cross the 68-second mark, and you've got momentum going. That's the point where you should have kind of wanted to get out in front of it before it bumped against you, because now when you get out in front of it, it might knock you down just a little bit. Momentum. So let's say that you are like a normal human, and you're thinking about your day, you're thinking about your life, you're thinking about your world, you're thinking about the personal things and the not so personal things. You're thinking a lot of thoughts. You're engaged with life. And some of the thoughts you think serve you really well, some of the thoughts you think don't serve you so well, but you're just thinking thoughts because there's thoughts to be thunk, right? So here is this thought about something that you want, and you're thinking about this thought of something that you want, and it starts in a gentle place. Let's say that you started early enough in the day that it was easy to get it going in that direction, so you're thinking about what you want on this subject. It might be a lover, it might be financial remuneration, it might be purchasing business real estate, it could be any number of things. So you're focused upon this desire, and so far so good. You're thinking about it, and it feels good to you to think about it. It feels fresh, feels exciting. The idea of it really feels good to you. So you're thinking that thought, and then, because you've got a belief that contradicts it, that's in the vibrational vicinity of that subject, you think, but I cannot really afford that. So now you've got this thought of what you want and this contradictory thought about it. And so you're not ever thinking two thoughts at the same time, but you're thinking them in close enough proximity to each other. I want it, but, I want it, but, I want it, but, that you've got a little vibrational wobble going here. You want it, but, so there's a little wobble going here. If you will step back right now and soothe that wobble, law of attraction is going to help you take that thought of desire to another place. But if you don't, the wobble's going to keep you from moving purely forward with that thought. So it goes like this. Let's say you don't catch it because it didn't feel very big. It wasn't gut-wrenching. You didn't really even notice it. You're not that in touch with your emotions. You're not that pure about your non-wobble thought yet. And so you think about how you want it, but. And then you think about how you've wanted it for a while, but. And then you think about how you hardly know anybody that's got that. And so now your thoughts are continuing. Law of attraction is causing each part of this thought to be greater. Are you getting the sense of this? But the wobble's getting greater too. So now, pretty soon, you want it, but now you're talking to your friend about it. Oh man, I've wanted this thing that I can't have for so long. Yeah, me too, your friend says. I can't even remember the last time I had anything like that. You know, I know somebody that's got it, but you don't even want to know that guy. That guy is so egotistical, centered. That guy is so hard to talk to, doesn't want to talk to things that negate what he wants. So you've got this big time wobble going on now. With us so far? You're the creator of your own reality. You're vibrational beings. You live in a vibrational universe. Everything you think is vibrational. Law of attraction is managing the vibration. And when you think about what you want in its absence, you wobble. And wobble doesn't feel good. And the more specific you are in a wobbling posture, the more uncomfortable you will become. The more specific you become in a non-wobbling posture, the more exhilaration you will feel. So your negative emotion is just letting you know all day, every day. what you're doing wobble-wise and what you could clean up if you would try a little bit. But if you'd be smart about it and want to stop the wobble before it gets going too much. Now, this may be helpful to a lot.